Hello, welcome to this week's EMBN Show. We are joined by Anna Cipullo, and we are talking about boutique bikes, yeah?
Yeah, let's do it.
Anna, thanks for joining us. You've been on your travels, haven't you? I've noticed on your Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd like a bit of adventure.
Yeah, some for business, some for pleasure.
I reckon you've sneaked on the EMBN show because you need to get on an e-bike pretty soon, I'm guessing.
I'm not going to lie, I'm not going to turn one down. They are a bit of fun.
But we're not talking about adventure, folks. We're talking about boutique bikes. And Anna, we both I come from a mountain bike background, but a boutique, what does boutique say to you?
You know what, I think some reviewers might use boutique as a synonym for just expensive in the reviewing world, to be fair. You get it used on Yeti and Evil. I don't know if I would say they were fully boutique. They're probably not even expensive in your world, are they?
Well, they are. I mean, I think you're right. I think people do associate those names you mentioned in the mountain bike world as being boutique, very niche. But I think, you mentioned price, obviously e-mountain bikes. We're looking at some of these bikes around about £14,000-15,000. So do you correlate price with boutiqueness? I don't know.
Me personally, I think it's those indie brands that aren't very well known that are doing something different. And that might be that they're playing with some unusual suspension design or something niche, or they might just be hand making a bike. So obviously I went to Bespoke Show a couple of weeks ago. We're seeing some handmade stuff
I
there.
did notice you
boutique.
Mentioned the guys from Cybro.
Yeah, they were there, yeah.
So Cybro, you guys have seen Cyber Industries on the channel. This is probably one of the longest traveled downhill bikes in the world. Anna, you're right. We've seen the guys from Cyber Industries. You had the internal geared hub, custom frame. Interestingly, Italian. The guy used to be a jeweler. Obviously knows his stuff. But Chris has actually been out in the Côte d'Azur at the Rock d'Azur, and he's been seeing some other custom boutique bikes. Let's see what Chris has found.
Super bikes, hyper bikes, custom bikes, or boutique bikes is often words we hear on EMBN, but what exactly are they? Well, it would be bikes exactly like this one over my shoulder, but they'd probably have a motor in. And events like the Rock d'Azur Festival, well, that is absolutely loaded with high-end bikes. So let's go look at some of those custom bikes or bikes that cost 5 figures. So for me, this has to be one of the standout bikes from the Rock d'Azur. It is very custom and super boutique. This is the RDR Zeus from Italy. It's a handmade carbon fiber frame, 160mm travel on this bike. We've got the Ollie Edge motor on this thing, pumping out 95 Newton meters of torque, internal 720 watt-hour battery, 160mm travel, and this thing is absolutely loaded with bling. Every single part of this bike couldn't be any better. I mean, you've got a full carbon wheel set on this bike, DT Swiss lightweight fork up front, and the bar and stem is a one-piece unit with internal cabling in the handlebar as well. Titanium bolts on the stem, lovely carbon fiber finish, room for a bottle cage up front, nice CNC linkage on this bike, DT Swiss air shock as well. That Ollie Edge motor is something else as well, really nice lightweight unit. And the weight of this bike without the motor and the battery is just 10 kilos, so it's super lightweight, bringing it down to the level of a lightweight, normal enduro bike. But with that motor and battery in, this one weighs in at just under 18 kilos. And the closer I look at this bike, there is even more fine detail. The rotors are vented, they're drilled on these Formula Cura brakes, which again come from Italy. You have a nice anodized sprocket on the top cog on the cassette, and even little titanium bolts holding the rotor on. It does not get more bling than this. Now, custom e-bikes come in many shapes and sizes, and I mean, look at this thing. It's definitely got some Harley Davidson inspiration, lowrider theme going on this thing. Doesn't look the most comfortable, but you've got a hub motor out back, a big retro headlight out front. I think gonna be in a pretty aero riding position riding this thing by the looks of it. Whoa. And if spending money means boutique to you, now this bike will set you back a whopping 10,000 euros. Now this is the Norco Sight VLT, one of the first bikes to be running that huge 900 watt-hour battery. But this thing's 150mm travel trail bike, 160 up front, Shimano EP8 motor on this, rolling on 29-inch wheels. This is a heavy-duty hitting machine with some big range. And there's some really nice touches on this bike. If you look inside that front triangle, you will notice there's room for a water bottle up front. The down tube is quite big to accommodate that 900 watt-hour battery. And if you look around by the motor area, you'll see that green tool built into the bottom bracket. Now, this is a range of Allen keys, which is going to help you remove that battery with ease. And weight for this bike, now it has a 900 watt-hour battery, so it's going to be pretty chunky, and this weighs in at 25.52 kilos. Now, this bike from Rosignol isn't boutique, but it is definitely very custom. I mean, it is set out for a big day out. Looks like some backcountry skiing is definitely going on with this machine. You got your boots up front, a rack out front as well. You've got some big travel forks on there, RockShox Zeb. The bike itself, 150mm travel, Shimano EP8 motor. But look at the racking on the back of this thing. Carry your full ski setup. You got your carriers on the side and your walking sticks on there. Now this looks like an absolutely amazing bike for a banging day out in the hills. So we just dropped by the Scott stand to check out this new Scott Patron E-Ride ST. And it is fully loaded, and it comes in at a cool price of 11,500 euros, weighing in at 23.6 kilos, full carbon chassis on this bike, Bosch Performance Line CX motor, internal 750 watt-hour battery on this bike, Fox 38 fork up front, and there's some really nice finishing touches on this bike. I mean, the shock is totally hidden away, got some nice cooling fins going on for the motor, and at the rear of the bike got SRAM XS gearing, we've got some Shimano XTR brakes on this thing. And looking up at the handlebars on this bike, you've got quite a few different levers to activate the different lockouts on the shock on this bike. Really cool one-piece carbon bar and stem on it. Internal headset cable routing. And the colour and the finish of this thing, loving that paint up front with that raw carbon fibre finish at the back. Things like this hidden shock tube, venting on the motor covering. Got a nice bash plate on the back and some really cool mudguards with integrated lights on the rear of this thing. Great looking piece of kit.
Anna, interesting stuff there from The Rock. I'm surprised you and Doddy are not at the Rock Dessert Festival.
If I'd have known about it, actually, I would have pushed to go. But yeah, Bespoked in London was about as far travelled as I went.
What was the name of that bike that Chris was looking at? It was called...
Zeus.
The
Zeus.
Zeus.
RD. Yeah, Zeus.
So,
handmade carbon thing.
To continue the conversation about boutique bikes, you mentioned the likes of, Yeti, and I do think what they make is great. I come from a downhill background. I think their RDH 303 bike was one of the all-time downhill bikes.
Yeah.
They definitely make some very niche stuff. In terms of e-bikes, they make a bike with a linkage, but I wouldn't characterize it as being boutique. Sorry, Yeti, because I think they use the same Shimano motor and batteries, many other brands. So I think there's other things, and you mentioned something Spanish a minute ago.
Oh, Uno, yeah. The old Spanish sort of handmade monocoque, yeah.
I think so. I think
that divides me on, because I think it's unusual. They're doing great stuff, but the look is a bit of a divider, in my opinion. I'm not sure
funny,
I'm
actually,
fully on board.
A lot of people think that it is the looker.
Really?
But again, is it fully boutique? Because you've got the Bosch motor on there. I do love Cesar Rojo and what he does. I mean, the fact that he actually decided to tackle carbon by himself by making carbon frames in his cooker in his kitchen. That's a long time ago. Things have moved on since then. You need to go and see Cesar Rojo.
Okay, and isn't he using recycled nylon that was pulled out of the ocean? I think there's like 200 grams of the resin is actually from recycled nylon.
See, I'm a tech nerd. That is why it's great.
That's cool.
That is why it's great to have Anna on the show, to have that tech angle on stuff.
Yeah, if you didn't know, I'm actually from GMBN Tech. Hi.
Check out GMBN Tech. I'm on there with Anna as well.
Yeah,
Folks,
last week.
Let us know what you think it makes a boutique bike, right? I mean,
Is it handmade? Is it expensive? Is it just doing something different? I don't know.
Let us know. So, from the sun of the south of France to some hot news, Anna. We've got the world's first insurance and bike tracker in one from bikefinder.com.
Big claim there.
It's a big claim. 8 weeks battery life, rechargeable USB connection, 52 grams, and it's you say it's subscription, right, for the insurance?
Yeah, so it looks like £149 plus subscription, so I presume that's your insurance. Struggling to see what the difference is between an actual GPS and then just buying your insurance, is there? Or I've had GPS motors on motocross bikes before that you sort of hide in various places and you have to get a SIM card for them, so you pay basically a pay-as-you-go contract. So it's kind of not a similar thing.
Yeah, I think the whole thing of e-bike theft is definitely of the moment in people's minds. I
Yeah,
think,
sure.
a lot of, like Bosch, for example, they have anti-theft, which is built into the app and the display on the bike. So
That's nice.
this thing here, inbuilt 80 decibel siren, which you can activate remotely.
Wow. Is that if you spot it
80
being
decibel.
stolen?
How big?
That's quite loud.
How loud is my boom thing in the house? Is that 80 decibels? Nice demonstration there, folks, of 80 decibels from Jackie behind the camera. Okay, next up, Anna, is handguards. Do you and Doddy talk about handguards?
We do not. No, this does not come up very often.
Wow.
I don't run them. Although I don't think this is e-bike specific, but I
It's
might
not.
consider it on an e-bike because I do seem to bin it quite a lot on an e-bike, and those things are heavy when they hit the ground. So
I have mixed feelings of handguards.
if they're going to protect my levers from breaking every time I throw my bike down the hill, I'm on board.
But how often do you throw your bike downhill and break your levers?
Not on an enduro bike, but I'm close on the e-bikes because they're so much heavier.
I think the whole point of handguards is it comes from a motorcycle background. Obviously, if you're on a motocross bike or an enduro motorcycle going through woods at, maybe, I don't know, 50 mile an hour, it's a
Okay.
bit different on an e-bike
Yeah, I see where
doing
you're going.
e-bike doing 15 mile an hour or a mountain bike. I'm not so sure. Maybe that's the reason Sam Hill uses handguards is because he doesn't go at 30 mile an hour, he goes at 60 mile an hour. So
Yeah.
mixed feelings, Anna, on that one.
I'm pretty sure I can exceed the motor's limits on a downhill enduro race, and I've still not needed.
I can
guards,
see
but-
Anna's already thinking about doing a feature together on the channel. Right.
Yeah, go on then. I
Stay
need an
tuned.
e-bike for that.
Stay tuned. Anna on e-bike very soon. Damn, Anna. One more bit of news which I
Yeah?
forgot is a bit of husky action.
Or Instagram news, what we got?
It looks like a person on a Husqvarna e-bike with a big old disc on the back,
Wow.
cutting a pallet. What
Wow.
I'd say is it's quite dicey cutting pallets, folks, because there's nails in them. If you're going to cut wood, cut some proper air-dried wood.
I could be on board with that when you finally give me this e-bike that I'm supposed to be due. Then I've actually got a log burner, as you know, so I could be.
Anna,
Yeah, this is
if
probably
you're
my new way.
Anna, if you want fire, just need to ask. That's fine. I'll swap for some wine or some beer anytime. But I would rather you do that than get onto something like that.
Hey, he who chops wood warms himself twice and all that.
Okay. And it is time now for Where in the World, out and about. Anna, this is your cup of tea, I'm very sure.
Yes.
This is you love adventure, and
do.
we have a bit of fun on this part of the show in terms of the pronunciation of some of the places.
Yeah.
Starting off with Almeria, Spain, and Kenneth has all been rise. This is in Cuevas al Manzoro on a morning ride. And do you know what? That's beautiful. I'm going to leave the next one up to you, I think.
Oh, wow, look at this cloud formation. With a
Come
little
on then,
lake
where
in
are
the
we?
background.
Where are we?
It's Wales. I thought it was Wales. It looked like Wales. Are we in Mole
Okay, it's
Go
quite tricky one actually.
You're
It's
Welsh.
more Ysgafernogod in Talsarnau in North
That's
Wales.
exactly what I was just about to say.
We will be in North Wales in the EMBN very soon. Anna, look at this final shot here out in Le Grave.
Oh,
I mean,
that's banging.
so-
That's my perfect view.
That is what you've got in store for you when you get your new e-mountain bike.
Yes.
That for me is what e-mountain biking is all about.
Oh, for sure. Let's hit up the Alps straight away. First ride. No?
Folks, thanks so much for your shots. Very inspirational and very beautiful as well. A great way to support the channel is check out our merch shop. And there's some great new products in there, Anna. There's some new
into
mugs. Enamel mugs.
Oh, I love it. Bikepacking essential, is it not?
It is.
Are you even bikepacking if you don't have an enamel mug attached to your bag?
Are you even bikepacking? On EMBN this week, two notable videos which are coming up is, actually make that three notable videos. On Monday, Chris is asking the big question, can e-mountain bike improve your riding? The Don is racing his Canevo SL on Sunday against Enduro Racer. But before that, on Friday, we've got the big question. And we saw the launch of the new Bosch CX Race Limited Edition motor. The question is it actually faster on a technical climb than the standard CX motor in turbo mode? Anna,
Yeah.
this is what you've got to look forward to when you get your e-mounted bike, technical climbs.
I love a tech climb, honestly.
Yeah.
I do.
And this is one where there's a deer watching a bloke up a hill.
Bit creepy, but
This
nice.
Is, yeah.
That's what we do it for, isn't it? It's
It
the
is.
views and the wildlife. We've got a trek rail here in Maple Ridge near Vancouver, BC. Have you ever been there? Looks nice.
I have, but I need to ride an e-bike there, that's for sure.
Yeah, me too. You want help?
She's rubbing it in, isn't she? A few questions, folks, from last week's video, which was on the slopes of La Palma, the island which had a devastating volcano a couple of years ago. But nevertheless, an incredible trail which I rode with Stefan Schlee. A couple of comments from that video, Anna. This one from Roger, how would you pronounce that surname?
Quinault?
Quinault. Stefan is part mountain goat, what a rider, and EMBN Steve, hat off to you, sir, for doing that downhill section at the end. It was Anna, it was like
Was it?
cliff. Like, I refused to go down it because literally, if your brake had failed or you missed a gear or something like that, it's
Yeah.
like it is
Bad
800
times.
feet to rocks.
Wow, okay, yeah, if you say it's gnarly.
It was.
It must be.
And then Derek Harper, what is Derek Harper going to say?
Great video, sort of how I would imagine riding it. Would it be like to eMTB in the depths of hell? Smoke and fire and sharp rocks. Love the fact that Steve chose to not wear any gloves or body armour. You're not into that?
Well, no. A part of the reason for that, Anna, is actually our protection partner, G-Form. This was filmed prior to that. So this was filmed in, actually 2021. So that's part of the reason for that. I think, yes, I would wear gloves in volcanic rock for sure. And then this one here from Morgan Sandquist. That last descent was batch crazy. Kudos for Steve. Yeah, it was nuts. Folks, thanks for your engagement in the videos. And yeah, get yourselves out to La Palma. What a place. Now, Anna, I know that you have top mods and retro bikes, is it? Is it called? It's called Rewind on GMBN Tech. Check out GMBN Tech, folks. Fantastic channel. But we've got Bike Vault on EMBN, and this is where we get really, what's the word?
Drooly over. We drool over other people's bikes.
Or maybe grumpy on how people are taking their photographs. Depends. Anyway, this first one is Stuart Norco Sight. I think it shows the bike off nicely. Nice.
Nice.
It's a nice shot. Next up, there's a nuke proof from Jorge in Portugal. I think that stone wall shows the bike off nicely with the contrast there, don't you?
I love a nuke proof.
I'm going to give that. I think that's a super nice shot.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Sure, yeah.
Super nice there, Jorge. Next shot is Michael Orbea in Bella Vista, Arkansas. I think it's a bit shadowy. It's a lovely
bit of
bike.
a busy photo. Yeah, good old Bay Rise. Yeah,
It's
but
nice.
busy.
And next up, a Fuel EXE. Who doesn't love one of them? Again,
classic.
a few shadows on the bike, but I think
Non-drive side though, do we like
Oh,
that?
here we go. How it's yeah, don't
Move on. It's a nice. It's a nice.
It's just a different side. Why is the drive side any better than non-drive? Oh, here we go, some triplets.
Oh.
This is Voodoo Zubop and Rother Valley, flanked by a white non-e-bike and I don't think we've ever had an e-bike with non-e-bikes on the channel. Now, Martin would go mental.
Is that allowed?
Well, of course it's
There's
allowed.
non-e-bikes in there. Are you upset?
It's all good. I'm not
Mixing.
upset at all, but I think it's a nice shot. And next up, we have someone's backyard.
It's a voodoo hoodoo.
This is what is going on here?
Just finished an old voodoo hoodoo e-biker conversion.
Is that like fishing tackle on the back?
Changed to Dior and fitted a Tungsten TDSZ2.
Oh, there you go. It is rigged up for fishing. You gotta love that, Anna.
All right, yeah.
Is
I mean, fishing's boring. I gave pike fishing in the canal a go, and honestly, I could have been on a bike.
Jack, fishing boring? Yes or not?
No. Yes.
Oh, Jack says fishing's boring.
Divided,
okay,
50% opinion
Next up
here.
is, so that was a nice shot, nice fishing shot. And next up is Jim Husqvarna Mountain Cross 5 in Pennsylvania. I think it's there's a lot of shadows in these shots this week, Anna.
What? And you're all right with me saying non-drive side, but shadows? You're you take exception to shadows. That's what happens here at EMBN, is
Get my
it?
coat.
All right,
I'll get my coat. Get my coat.
Come back.
Right, okay, well then you call it. You call it. You
All
call
right,
it.
all right. Oh, what, back on the husky?
Yeah, back in husky.
Yeah, I like a husky. Yeah, it's super nice.
I'd love to have a dog. Love to have a dog.
Oh, an actual husky?
Yeah, I'd like to have a husky
Not
dog.
a Husqvarna. Okay.
No, I love my Husqvarna mountain bike. Anyway, next up is Steve here and his Niner Rip E9. I think that's a beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Good background. I think it's super nice.
I used to race for Niner. Yeah, good bikes.
Did you?
Yeah.
Thing is, there's Jack trying to hurry us along, and you start off on a whole new subject of bike
know.
you've been riding for Niner before.
Yeah, I raced the XC World Cup at Val d'Isole on a Niner.
What's a hard place to race?
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Val d'Isole racing.
Yeah, I'd love to do that course on an EXC bike. Actually, that would be.
Okay, so
lit.
I think that's what was that, Jack? Is that the 6th or 7th kind of subtle hint that Anna needs an e-bike?
Should we just run up a
10th.
tally?
I think
In
so.
the bottom corner.
There you go, tally of e-bike
Give me all your
hints.
e-bikes.
Anyhow,
now.
Felt, Redemption, Weed Patch Trail, Lake Lure, North Carolina, United States.
That's a banging view. That is.
You got it.
yeah.
That,
nice.
Brian, is a super nice. Folks, that's it for this week's EMBN Show. Anna, thanks so much for joining us.
No problem.
Boutique Bikes. Cipullo.
Cipullo and boutique. Yeah.
Yeah, let us know your thoughts
Hand in hand.
on Chris's bikes from the beautiful Rock Desert, and we'll see you next week.